Hey everyone, I'm Ryan. You're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and in this video, I'm going to check out a beginner's pack sort of situation here. It's an electric guitar, a miniature amp, a few other accessories, all under $200 on Amazon. Last time I checked, I'm not really familiar with this brand at all. They did send it to me. This was sent to me by the brand A-S-M-U-S-E, Asmuse. The brand Asmuse. So let's crack this thing open and check it out, even though the mailman already did that for me a little bit. I see that there is a bag in there, some sort of gig bag. Let's crack it open. Yeah, this thing's all tore up. All right, here we go. Here's the mini amp. It's a cute little guy. Looks like something you'd want to take to the beach with you. I mean, it could be like a Bluetooth little speaker that would be really cute for sitting by the pool or something. But no, it's an amplifier. It's got an input jack, MP3 in, so an auxiliary input, so you could, you know, play your music off of it if you wanted to. Headphones and DC 9 volt. I'm assuming this is a 9 volt. Yep. It's not plugged in yet though, so let's do that before we get started. Are you being serious right now? How do you turn it on? Am I missing something here? How do you turn this on? There's no power switch. There's no like click on any of the knobs. There's no pull or push function. Maybe it turns on when you plug into it? We'll find out. There's nothing in the manual that says anything about a power switch. Got a strap here. Oh, a little clip tuner. That's nice. Your kind of expected Radio Shack style cable and a wiggle stick is in here. Extra strings. A polish cloth. And, oh wow, a capo. With a little peg puller for an acoustic guitar on there. It looks like a functional capo. We'll have to try that out. I'm surprised all that isn't inside the gig bag pouch. I might as well use the included cable with this just to see what it's like. And then I'll use a regular cable when I run into my full rig here. I've had experiences with these where they are basically AM radio antennas, or they get really, really crackly and stuff. Here we go, moment of truth. Let's see what the guitar is like. For under 200 bucks and a bunch of stuff coming with it, I'm really not expecting a whole lot here. It's gonna be a question of whether or not this is a guitar that's playable enough that I could truly recommend it to a new player, because that's who this sort of thing is for. It's for a new player, someone looking to get into guitar for the first time, and so they're buying, you know, a setup that has a little bit of everything, right? Here we go. We've got a double fat strat situation here, matte black, like a Tim Burton Batman movie. Try to get this plastic skin off of here. I get why the plastic film is left on pick guards and other guitar parts when it's shipped to you. It's supposed to protect it during shipping, make sure that, you know, you have something as close to factory new as possible. But man, it's sometimes it's just a big pain in the butt. And I'm gonna have to like pull the knobs off and like get underneath the washers here to get all that plastic out. It's just a little bit annoying sometimes. But I get it, I get it. Like, it would be a problem if they stopped including that, because people would get stuff that's all scratched up after shipping and whatnot. But there's not a protective cover on the finish, on the paint. There's not a protective piece of plastic on the neck. It's just on the pick guard, the part that's supposed to get scratched up anyways. So let's get this out of my way here and take a look at what we've got. Might as well put the wiggle stick in. Yikes! Oh, weird. This plastic fell apart in a really, really weird way back here. Ooh, what is that all about? It's all over my hands, and I'm gonna need a paper towel to clean this up, because I don't want this crap all over me. What the hell? I'm gonna have to wipe this up with a wet paper towel to pick it all up. It makes me think that plastic protector was on there for maybe 1,000 years or something. Whatever light adhesive was on there deteriorated, or the plastic itself deteriorated and just turned into a weird dust. I've never experienced that before. That was really, really different. All right. Fun detail on the back of the neck plate. It says Asmuse, the boutique edition. This is the boutique edition from Asmuse. Interesting knot through the neck right there. It's got that very thin matte finish thing going on the neck. You can pick up some grain of the wood on the sides. Closed back tuners, we'll see how those are when I start getting into it. Fairly rough cut here at the heel. Some fuzziness in the wood in like a dusty sort of way. Three-way kind of Gibson style switch here. Did Gibson originate the switch, or did it come from somewhere else? I don't know. A volume, a tone, 2 humbuckers. I get the feeling those are some variety of ceramic humbucker. Black coated strat style trim, single ply matte pick guard. The frets do not feel sharp. I don't know what size these are supposed to be, but they're not huge. They're not tiny either. The way they're dressed, they're backed off the edge of the neck just a little bit, so they're not going to catch your fingers at all. That's a plus for new players, not having frets that are, like cheese graters on the ends. So that is nice. What appears to be a plastic nut. All right, let's plug it in to the little amp here and see if it turns on magically without a power switch of any sort. It does. You plug it in and it turns on. It's kind of smart if you think about it. But then you have to unplug it every time you want to turn it off. So what if you just want to turn it off real quick? We'll let the overhead mic do its thing with this. Obviously, I'm not going to be in tune, but there is a tuner here. Let's see if it works. We're testing every part of this rig here. Well, so far everything seems to function. Let's try the capo. I think it got pulled out of tune, but it held on there. It seemed like everything was ringing out. that gain all the way up. The volume's all the way up already. Actually sounds like a fairly fun fuzz. Maybe I should run a line out of the headphone jack and treat this like a pedal at some point in this video. What is it doing? I'm going to give the strings a good stretch, and we'll test out the amp a little bit more, and then I'll run it through my regular amps. I mean, clearly the amp is a glorified toy. I am interested to hear what it sounds like running out of the headphones into some regular guitar amps and see if this turns into like a really fun, nasty, gnarly fuzz box sort of situation. But let's ditch the Radio Shack cable and the plastic battery amplifier and get into my regular amplifiers. I am, of course, running into the 2 Princeton's rig while I tune here. We'll let the song play. There's a bit of a buzz out happening with the high E. I wanted to think it was the nut, but even on the 2nd fret. Makes me think there's something going on with that bridge saddle there. Maybe a burr or something. It feels like a painted style saddle. It's not anodized or anything to be black. Almost a bit of like a rubbery feel to it. I'm not going to spend the time. I don't think I'm going to spend the time in this video to try to massage that out and figure out what's going on there, but it is buzzing out in an unpleasant way. But otherwise, surprisingly playable out of the box. The action is not bad. It could be a little bit lower. It looks like the strings are just flat despite, you know, the radius of the fretboard, which I would guess is a pretty standard 9.5 just by looking at it. But yeah, the strings are just set completely flat. They're not adjusted to the radius at all. So yeah, the action could be helped quite a bit, but despite that, feels like a comfortable player so far. That's the bridge pickup. Here is the neck. high E. It might as well not even be there. It's like, I feel like cutting it off right now. But the tuners are all right. They're par for the course for a guitar of this price point. A little bit sticky feeling, but firm. They feel like they should hold the strings in tune, unless you do something really wild, like a great big bend or something like that. But then really it's probably the nut that is going to be the biggest issue as far as tuning stability goes. But yeah, a little bit sticky, a little bit jumpy when you go back and forth with them. I've encountered tuners that have huge jumps in them in guitars from this price point. So when you consider the price of the guitar, they are on the top end of what you can expect for a sub $200 guitar. But yeah, you're not going to be moving these tuners over to any other guitar after you replace them, if you do replace them. I don't think you would really need to, but you know, people do all sorts of stuff, right? I either play bright and happy surfy stuff, or I play like doomy castle music. Those are my two gears that I get stuck in these days. Or just really contrived blues licks, right? Here's the middle position, because of course. And it's falling out of tune already. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's an intonation thing. The high E string, the one that doesn't ring out, is the only one in intonation. All the other strings are out of intonation. That is too funny. The pickups sound all right to me. Let's try them with some drive. Here's some light drive from my 50/50 pedal. Middle. And the neck. Let's try it with a higher gain pedal. I've got the Big Ear Pedals woodcutter down here, which is a rat style pedal. So the first thing I would do with this guitar, if I was gonna start working on it, is lubricate the nut to make sure it's nice and slippery. That will lead to higher tuning stability and things like that. I don't think it's the tuners. It might be the strings breaking in. Who knows what strings these are, where they came from. The replacements come in an unmarked package. So who knows what quality these strings are. I mean, it's a sub $200 guitar pack that comes with all kinds of stuff. So I don't think we can expect the highest quality of strings here. I need to figure out that buzz. Let me find the Allen key here and see if I can dial that out just a little bit, just with a quick tweak to see what happens. Sometimes one of the little adjuster screws here is loose and the whole saddle rattles, but to me it sounds like the string isn't breaking over the edge of the saddle cleanly. It doesn't like sound or feel like saddle rattle. It feels like the string is being killed with some sort of physical connection. The problem is that the action is already too high on the high E. I was trying to raise it, but now I'm going to try lowering it. That's a little better. Interesting that it was buzzing because it was too high. Lowering the saddle addressed that buzz on the high E. This is a situation where at this price point, you can't expect a guitar to show up that is going to be set up ready to go, which is kind of a problem for the new player that's buying a guitar for their first guitar as a package that's coming with a little amp and things like that, all the accessories to get started. It's a common problem, and it's something that a lot of us, the vast majority of us that started playing guitar, ran into when we started playing guitar, is that beginner instruments meant for beginners, often have problems that can only be addressed by people with experience. And so do you end up taking your budget guitar to a guitar tech to address those problems because you don't know exactly what's going on? Or are you industrious and experimental and brave enough to start tackling setup on a guitar when you first start learning to play guitar? I was that type of person. The first time I got an electric guitar, I had taken it all the way apart and put it all the way back together within the first month. That's the type of personality that I am, but not everyone has that personality, and not everyone wants to get into guitar to take guitars apart. They want to get into guitar to actually play it. And when you run into these sorts of situations, bad setups on the bridge, tuning issues that you're not going to understand or know how to address, budget guitars can be a bit of a hindrance to new players. That's just really the truth of the matter. But at under $200, let me look up the exact price of this guitar, so we know what we're talking about here. It might have been like $180, it might have been like $160. $169, right in the middle of what I guessed. Plenty in stock of the black. They have blue, they have red, they have pink, and they have sunburst, and they have like a natural dark stain. I think they're all the same price. Yeah. At $170, this is what you're going to be getting from the vast majority of builders out there. I think there's good bones to this. I think that someone like me could buy something like this and treat it like, hey, for under $200, I got a body that I can do whatever I want with. It's matte black. So, you know, this would take relicking really fun. You get like some scraping going on the side there and some wood peeking through and stuff. You have a neck that is playable. It is not a premium neck by any stretch of the imagination. That big knot that's passing through it right there is not going to impede your playing, but it's not necessarily pretty to look at. Not that that needs to be an important thing to care about, but clearly, like, you know, this is not top shelf wood with that funny little knot going through it. You know, the cut of the wood down here is pretty rough. The pickups, to me, they function. They give you a nice introduction to humbuckers and what they do. It's sitting here quiet right now. There's no buzz, it's grounded. That's great. Normal amount of buzz with a high gain distortion on. Yeah, that's all normal stuff. But to me, they sound a little bit lacking in personality, but that's, you know, the preferences of someone who's had experience with tons and tons and tons of guitars and knows exactly what he wants now. But yeah, the neck is playable. The frets aren't incredible or anything like that, but they're trimmed away from the edge of the fretboard. So if there is any sharpness, you're not going to detect it while you're playing, which honestly is a great feature for new guitarists. Like this neck, like if everything came set up, I'd be like, yeah, no brainer. Get this guitar, play it, learn to play guitar on it. But those little issues, that's the challenge. That is the challenge for the new guitarist. But I think the bones on this are acceptable, especially for $170. It comes with some accessories, but really this is the brunt of what you're getting here. That is what you're paying for. It could have come with none of these accessories and been pretty much the same price. But let's do the thing I was talking about. I want to try to use this as a pedal. I'm going to need to track down some adapters here. All right. This is what I was looking for. A little 1/4 inch to 3.5 millimeter. Oh, what am I doing? Got a cable right here. Oh man. A gentle kick against that, and this thing is gonna break. Not a lot of volume coming out of that. That's all we're getting from it. I had to like half cock the adapter plug out of there because it's going to stereo. That was the issue. It has a bit of like a Dan Electro food pedal, kind of like lo-fi, gritty, dirty distortion thing going on. And you know I'm going to play some Link right here in a second. I feel a little bit conflicted about this. On one side, it is a playable guitar. It is a guitar that can be set up to be played. I didn't dive too far into the trim and the wiggle stick situation here because there were tuning stability issues and I just don't want to deal with it. I think the nut needs to be lubricated. There's probably issues as far as dialing this in, intonation, and things like that. I'd want to adjust the springs to be a little bit lighter. Let's take a look at the trim block back here. I will open it up with a screwdriver so we can take a peek at what's going on underneath the hood. But my impressions are like someone like me could take this guitar, sub $200, throw parts I already have in a drawer at it, and get it playing to be a reasonably, decent playing guitar. It's starting out as a reasonably playing guitar, but it does need some help with setup and things like that. But the conflict I'm having is, I don't feel with how it came set up that I could recommend it to a brand new player. But I also can't think of a sub $200 alternative. Maybe the Squier Bullet Mustang. I feel like that's a really solid sub $200 option for a beginner, but then that doesn't come with, a little amplifier and a tuner and things like that. But you can get tuner apps on your phone for relatively cheap, sometimes free if you're willing to watch some advertisements and stuff like that. But the amplifier is an issue. So I don't know. You guys will have all sorts of opinions in the comments. I mean, it's a thin block, but everything looks of decent quality in here. Actually, not the worst route I've ever seen in a budget guitar. Not that that matters for the sound or the playability or anything like that, but it is fun to look at the quality of the woodwork in there. I'll leave it open right now so I can get close-up shots later. I think it's a bit of a complicated situation. You get a fairly attractive looking matte black body. A lot of people will like that sort of thing. You get a pile of parts, a neck that is actually playable. It's a strat style trim here. You could replace the whole thing for about 30 bucks and have something a bit more name brand looking, I suppose. There's all sorts of varieties of Wilkinsons you could throw in there for about 30 bucks. You could just do a setup on this, and I think you would be the vast majority of the way there. But yeah, what do you guys think? Asmuse, electric guitar, beginner's pack situation here. I'm curious to read all the comments. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude and nasty comments. Support us on Patreon. Buy a shirt if you're naked. Click the links down below if you want to check this out or anything else. I've got all sorts of general links down there. There where, like if you're shopping for anything, you could help me out by clicking those links first, and it helps me make a living because I get a percentage of whatever you buy when you click those links. So if you're shopping for fridge filters, click my Amazon link. If you're shopping for a gigantic PA and lighting rig that you're going to spend tens of thousands of dollars on, click my Sweetwater or Toman links. And I'll be able to put my daughter into preschool if you do that. I actually won't make that much money, but whatever. Also, there are some people that like to hang out and chat with me and everyone else, all the regulars, when I launch videos. If you want to be some people, then click the bell down below and you'll get notifications when videos launch. And it's a lot of fun to hang out in the Premiere chat. It's honestly my personal emotional reward for making a video is being able to get to hang out with everyone and chat. We don't always chat about the videos. Sometimes we chat about other stuff, but it's like my social reward for working alone in a hot, sweaty garage, slaving over a hot YouTube. All right, guys, thanks for watching and stay grounded. Bye, everybody.